Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at a fresh release from Scaletrains.com. It is the operator and rivet counter versions of the Greenbrier Gunderson 5188 covered hoppers. These are HO scale and they are finely detailed. Let's take a look at what you get in the box next. So before we get to the unboxing of these, there's some differences I need to let you know about from Scaletrains.com's brands. Now, for those of you not familiar, the operator is a little less detailed, rivet counter a little more detailed. Obviously, the operator has a lower price point because of that detail difference, and we're going to break into a lot of those differences right away. But the most important thing you guys want to know about is price, and the operator can be bought for $25.99, operator versions of this, and you can obviously get $2 off per model if you order 6 or more, so that can bring it down to $23.99 each. On the rivet counter end, $39.99 is your going price for that highly detailed model, and you can get $2 off if you order 6 or more to bring it down to $37.99 per model, or if you order 12 or more, you can get it down to $35.99 a model. So bulk buying is always encouraged to save a few dollars here and there on the models. Now the differences we will get into as we open them up. So let's take a look and get this operator version unboxed first. Now packaging is about the same, so I'm not going to unbox both of these for you on camera. We'll just get the operator version out of the box here. You've got just plastic, soft plastic, protecting the model from the hard plastic shell that protects the model in the shipment. So when UPS, FedEx, and the post office play soccer with your package, hopefully it still gets there in one piece. You've got the manual here, fold out, the exploded parts diagram. Now it's a little hard to see as we're zoomed in here, but if you have any parts that go bad, you can then identify those and go to Scaletrains.com to contact them and order something. Additional parts are available, the operator upgrade kit, so you can make it almost as detailed as the rivet counter version. Now that that's all out of the box, the other thing I want to show you is the back of the box, which has all the information. You can read that by pausing the 1080p HD. You'll be able to clearly read that to you, or allow you to read it if you blow it up to the full screen there. And the end there, they've got all the graphics on the ends with the item number and a representation. Keep in mind these are true color paint matched, which means they should have accurate paint per the actual real thing. Alright, so the operator has surprisingly high amount of detail for the more budget-friendly model. The main difference you're going to be able to tell, I think right out of the box, is just the difference between the metal walkway plating and the plastic one on the operator. The metal would be obviously on the rivet counter, but with that said, let's take a closer look at some of the detail on the model as we go to this end here. So right here on the end, you can see even on the operator lots of detail to be found. You've got the brake wheel that stands out. You've got a coupler, which is a Scaletrains specific coupler. You've got the air reservoir. There are 2 air lines that run from the air reservoir to the control valve that are still detailed on the operator version. All the internal bracings there. You've got the plate, etched metal on the rivet counter, but on this one it is plastic. Coupler stand plate here that runs across the coupler. Still have metal wheels, crew access ladder, KCS printed with the road number. It's clear and legible on the side there. Right on the side, one of the more distinguishing features obviously are the outlet gates. In this case you've got 30 by 30 ATP gravity outlet gates. So all the products that the hopper carries is obviously going to be released with those. There are versions, different versions, gravity outlet and pneumatic outlet. So there's a couple options and they've detailed those as well. Right above those you'll see these brackets here that are actually called shaker brackets. Now what those do is they can be attached to the car to vibrate the car to help the unloading process. Or an actual attachment will attach to those shaker brackets in order to do that. So that again kind of gets all of that product out of there, because when you think about bulk loading product, there is a lot of it and you can lose quite a bit as a railroad if there's product left behind, or more realistically upset your customers. There's a closer look at the outlet gates and the shaker brackets. On this end though, you'll also see reinforcement plates. These are added to the car side to reinforce those sections because they have been added due to material failure in the area on the real thing. So those are even modeled on the operator version. So not a whole lot of detail is withheld even from this budget-friendly version. More of the same detail on this end of the car. And then we will zoom back out for a second and take a look at the top, where you can see all of the hatches for the product to actually go into, and a better look at that metal walkway, which in this case is plastic, but the walkway for the crew access up top. And that, in a nutshell, is the operator version and some of the details that includes. So now we're looking at a rivet counter version. You have an upgraded version of a coupler here. You've got airline hoses on the end of the car. You've got really nice detail. The metal walkway really pops. There's actually multiple versions of hatches, which we'll get into in a moment. The iconic or most prominent spotting feature, I would say, on this BNSF hopper is the stiffing ribs, which are on the side here. That's the two lines going right here along the side of the hopper. Now, the story goes that some executive from BNSF saw the newly produced cars and complained about the waves in the car sides from the fluctuation of metal. So Gunderson added these ribs on some cars as a way to stiffen the panels. They only did it on some cars, but then in later production they changed the width of the panels and deleted the ribs. As noted on a couple different versions of the BNSF, they have actually produced 5 different bodies on these cars, and BNSF has 3 of them. So 5 different bodies from Scaletrains, and there's just a lot to cover. That's why this rolling stock review is going about the length of a locomotive review. You've also got on this BNSF version the FRA reflective markings on the side. You've got a lot of great detail, grab irons, metal where plastic is on some of on the operator version. You've got a roping eye on the end so that the car can be pulled, I mean. You've got train line pipe, so a little more detail on the bottom here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this detail. And this is what the upgrade of about $10 to $15 will get you per car. All of that great detail. Shaker brackets are a little more prominent as well. They're molded in, I believe, on the operator versus separately applied on the rivet counter. Don't quote me on that one, but they're definitely more prominent, and that's what it appears to be. So here's a long glance of the BNSF. Rivet counter. One problem I usually see with etched metal anything is warpage, and I haven't seen any warpage on any of these, and trust me, I bought a lot. So pretty good for this hopper without any warpage on any of the metal pieces. Now we're going to start getting in a little bit more variation, but before we do, I need to kind of wrap up the rivet counter's body types. There's 5 different bodies. 4 are represented on the first production run, 2 different roof hatches. There's fiberglass or metal, 3 different outlet gates, including the ATP 30x30 outlet gates, the minor auto lock, 2 outlet gate, and the minor Santa lock gravity pneumatic outlet gate. Okay, this is probably my favorite scheme here. This is a CMO UP patch. This was an old CSX hopper, I believe, that's been renamed, repatched for UP use. So on this car, you can see some variation differences as well, even outside of the fact that it's got metal roof hatches and ATP 30x30 gates on the bottom, which, by the way, that's a bottom look. But additionally, you've got things like the placard stand here, and on the other side, for the hazardous placards, and then that nice patch look. Factory did a great job with the paint of having a patch look behind the Building America and the CMO, even though it's just slightly off from the body color. It still is indicative of a patch look. And to take a piece of rolling stock and break it down to road specific details is always great for a manufacturer to do, and not always budget friendly for them, but good for the modeler. You've got a couple of cut levers, which I think we haven't mentioned before on the Rivet counter version. All that detail tucked away inside the bracing there, including the air reservoir. So beautiful, beautiful cars with lots of variations. Okay, on the UP version, there's fiberglass roof hatches, so you can obviously see the difference between those and the metallic appearance of the other hoppers I showed. And there's also minor anti-lock gravity pneumatic outlet gates and no roof walk in bracing. So different type of gate there, obviously. That's pneumatic versus the gravity. And just to kind of give you a difference, spotting, got that versus that. So side by side there, you can definitely tell there's a difference, and that's the detail that Scaletrains has gone to. Roof hatches, easily spotted difference there. It's the detail that Scaletrains has gone to in all these models. Now, all right, we got the AOK version here. Lots of variation detail on this too, but if I go much into it, we're going to end up spending a lot of time, more than you want. Basically, one of the major features is the fiberglass roof hatches. As you see there, again, no metallic appearance. You've got the reflective markings on the bottom for the FRA mandate. KCS, my second favorite. I'm glad they finally, or somebody finally made an accurate KCS 3-bay hopper. This beautifully done, again, with all of its own variations and differences in the hatches and the 30 by 30 ATP gates on the bottom there. Beautiful car overall. One thing I don't think I did mention, and I'll try to get captured here because it might be tough on the run by, is you've got roller bearing caps on the ends, and Scaletrains is nice enough to include some extras in case they pop out, because they are a moving part. But the roller bearing caps on the Rivet counter version turn as the wheel turns. Whew, well guys, that's been a long review, probably the longest on rolling stock, and the reason is Scaletrains.com's dedication to all the variation differences in the Rivet counter and operator version of these Gunderson hoppers. Overall, great product. By the way, 4.5 ounces for weight, no issues with coupler height or NMRA standards. I know I didn't get to cover that in the review because of all the other details we did. I'm going to put some resources below in the description, including a link to the product on Scaletrains.com, and more importantly, a chart that tells you the differences between the operator and Rivet counter versions of this product. And I'm going to leave you with a run-by of this product on my river scene, kind of shooting down a little bit so you can see some of the roof hatch variation detail, and then a unit train with KCS on another run-by, because, well, since the announcement, I've been waiting to do this. So I'm very excited to do that. We will see you guys next time right here on my channel. Take care.